Hi everyone, it's another wonderful spring Saturday morning, and for some of us afternoons, for some of us lunchtime, and I want to greet you all to our streaming. My name is Lucia Hoxa, and I'm a fertility coach supporting women all over the world on their journey towards motherhood so they can hold their dream babies. And today we are going to be talking about creating results, knowing what you want. Now, while I'm welcoming you all, I want to mention that I chose this subject, and I always choose the themes for our regular Facebook live streaming that we do every second Saturday, on a basis either of whatever my clients are going through, or even what I'm going through, or something that I'm observing that a lot of people are dealing with. So today I chose this subject because actually on a basis of the calls I'm having with you. And what I'm finding many times is that the greatest pitfall for us to have what we really want in life, it's something very silly. Or it starts there. The truth is, we are so clear about what we don't want, but we are often not very clear about what we really want. So, Evichka, welcome in. A few more people joining. I can't actually see the names right now, but if you can hear me well, just give me a thumbs up that you can hear me well, and that I'm not talking to myself, as I wouldn't like to do that for 45 minutes, which is the time I'm going to spend with you now. I'll be very grateful for a little heart or thumbs up just to make sure that I'm being heard. But I think somebody's listening because people are coming in. So hopefully all is well. So for those of you who are coming in, we are going to be talking about how to create the results, knowing what you want and being clear about what you want. And today we are going to be talking not only about why is it important, which is really important, but also how to actually phrase it, how to frame, how do I know what I really want? And I'm not talking about, Porsche outside of the house, or, like big house with a, like what is your real why? Like often I work with, last 17 years I've been working with women, and kind of guiding them on their way to fulfill on their dreams, to really fulfill on, to live their life to their highest potential. And often with and this was inspiration for my streaming today and subject, what I'm going to be talking about, because a lot of times I get on call with people, and when I ask them what do you really want, they're kind of like, they're not very clear. Or even more, like they sometimes don't even know. They're very clear about what they don't want anymore. They are very clear even about things that are not working in their life. In fact, the point where they get on call with me to have a conversation is the point when they're actually really ready to do something about it, which is always really great starting point, and I always celebrate this. But the truth is, a lot of times we are so used to talking about things not working and complaining. I call it like this persistent complaint. And it's not something that you do or I do, we all do it. Okay, we all do it. And I know, like in the past, I put my hands up like 15 years ago. And even now, sometimes it comes to my head when I'm complaining there is not enough time, or, but it's like because of personal development and the journey I was doing, because remember guys, I'm a coach, but I'm on the same, I'm a human being, right? So I'm dealing with the same stuff like you do. It's just maybe over the years I'm a little bit trained to deal with it that much faster and that much with more ease, basically. But I have my own challenges, and those thoughts, even to me, sometimes come. So today we will be talking about, how, like, why is it important? How to create what you really want, being clear and how to be clear about knowing what you want. So welcome everyone. Thank you for spending your precious time with me, because I know you could be doing anything and be anywhere and surfing and flicking through the Facebook, and you for some reason decided to pause there. So thank you for your trust and your love, and my intention is to bring you a lot of value. And also, I don't want to be a TV, so please comment. Send me a comment, send me your likes if anything resonates with you. I love interaction. In fact, when I started streaming 5 years ago, I've done this because I wanted people to talk, like to actually connect people. I always had a desire to talk about things that matters in life. Because I feel like we talk a lot about a lot of things, but I had this desire, and I still do, even in conversations with my friends, to talk about real things, authentically, about things that matters, about things that will move us forward in life. And that's one of the reasons why I chose this very powerful subject. So let's talk about creating results, knowing what you want. Now, I will start with women that I work with, because a lot of them will be watching this streaming from the recording. So as an example, I have a lot of ladies who would love nothing more but being a mums. It's a huge desire. I had it myself, and for many years it hasn't been fulfilled until I became a mom. Now I'm a happy mom of 2 little girls. But like for all those years, the desire to be a mom was huge. It was like this dream, and sometimes it felt like universe, because it hasn't been happening for so many years. Now, you would be thinking that in terms of this subject, it would be irrelevant for women on their journey towards motherhood, because they are bloody clear what they want. They want a baby. They want to get pregnant. They want to carry the pregnancy all the way through. They want to give a birth to a healthy, beautiful baby. But I often, when I work with my women, and this is, also when you are thinking about anything that you really want, okay? Whether it's a job promotion, or whether it's, anything, partner in life, romantic relationship, anything. It's very, very healthy and very good to ask yourself, why do I actually want this? It's the kind of question that our children give us. You think it's obvious on a surface, like, what do you mean, why I want a baby? It's obvious, I want to be a mom. Everybody wants to be a mom, or, almost everybody. But it's the kind of question the children give you to make you go deeper and think. Is, when they ask you, like, why the grass is green? Like, for you as an adult, of course grass is green. Have you ever seen any other color of the grass? I haven't. It's like, of course, we have things set in stone. And so, I often ask my women, is like, why do you actually want a baby? What baby represents in your life? And you would be surprised, because the answer is always similar but different. There are women, I had a client who never met her real parents. Her both parents died. And, when she was, before she, had a chance to know any of them. And she always had this internal desire to have a family, to have a proper family, to belong. Then I had another woman who, really wanted a baby, because she saw it as a ticket. It's a little bit straight, but you will get what I mean. She admitted it herself. She saw it as a ticket to get out of the terrible job she was in. And she saw no other way but getting pregnant and get on maternity leave. And of course, she wanted a baby for other reasons as well. But really, this was driving her. This was behind. So she wanted it fast. She wanted it, she was desperate. And guess what happened? When she discovered it and she realized that this is her driving force, and what is behind it is something, is desire for better quality of life, for harmony in her life, for her to spending, more time with her husband, and to go for holidays, not just once a year when she's feeling happy and then she's stressed again when she comes back to her desk, but like to have a quality of life when she's got a time to notice that spring came, that she's got a time to enjoy a meal with her family, So what was behind it was this desire that hasn't been fulfilled, and the pressure to have a baby. She believed that, then that's a ticket, that's when she's going to get it. And of course, as we worked together, she discovered it, and she started, she terminated her job. In fact, energetically, things worked out that she attracted a redundancy with a really good pay to her life, out of really declaring what she really wants and standing behind it. And that's how she very miraculously attracted not only leaving job, but also redundancy, and then finding another job that was fulfilling her and that was completely different energy. Inside of that space, the baby came naturally. So I often, talk about things. I talk about intimacy. I talk about, I'm like a little Sherlock Holmes, I'm looking beyond what is visible with my people, and because those blind spots are there and they are not visible to us, and that's why I'm talking about, and when we get present to them, then we discover something new. We are able to choose the different path, attract the different results. It really is a lot about harmony and balance in life. I'm currently writing a book that is going to be released in June, and in this chapter of this book I'm writing I was just tonight actually I was writing that a lot what I learned in northern Namibia, when in 2010 I was traveling. I was living in a bushman land with people who never even met the white person. It was extraordinary experience, and I think it was one of those transformational experiences that helped me to understand a human being on a profound level, and also helped me to understand the unbelievable connection between Mother Nature and certain principles and rules in life. Things that work or don't work in our lives is because we are out of balance, just like in nature. Earthquakes, the even worse, it's like out of balance. We are out of balance as a society. Lack of consciousness, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, I've got lots to tell about it, but I don't want to drift too far, because today, welcome everyone again, we are talking about creating results, knowing what you want. So, knowing what you don't want, let's go back there for a little while. It's actually really important. And that's where we start, because otherwise you would take the job that you hate, or you would stay or be with a partner that you don't love anymore, So knowing what you don't want is also very important. But sometimes a lot of people stay stuck in that place without moving into, okay, well, if this is what I don't want, what do I actually really want? And another pitfall, what we do is that we do it as a fix. I give you an example. So for example, like, I'm depressed and down. Life is boring and pointless. And we do the fix. What I want is being happy and excited about life. Well, is that really it? Now, this is a little bit deeper, but maybe what is important is, after we realize what we don't want, is to go to that neutral space of, I call it nothing. Creating from nothing is extremely powerful. That's why creation is the most powerful when we go in the space of silence, when we have a practice of meditation, of like connecting with self. However, that's really difficult sometimes, unless you have a guide who strips off the layers of the crab that is already on the top. Does that make sense? When you release those layers, then you come to this space of nothing, where the creation is possible. That's why even when I work 12 weeks with my people, and that's why at the beginning we go into those smelly bits at the beginning. You know, we dig in a little bit of poo. It's not comfortable. It's painful. Sometimes, you know, they cry. Sometimes, I mean, it's not comfortable. It's not for everyone. It's for the courageous ones. But, you know, wonderful thing is when I mean, the shit has already been there. Sorry for profanity, but, you know, the crap has already been there. It's just we are so skilled because it's painful. We learn to hide it and hide behind it, or actually not hide behind it, go in front of it so it's not being seen to the outside world. But we all have that, you know, those fears, those doubts, those shadows of ourselves, those ugly parts that we don't like about ourselves, those fatty bits, you know, whatever it is, yeah? And so it's very important to face it, to look at it, to be brave enough to give it a name, to experience it, to experience and go into the pain of it, because only then you are present to what is it costing you. Only then you are ready to actually finally do something about it and move forward in life, like really towards true happiness, intensive experience of bliss and life. And, you know, tomorrow I'm going to be talking about intimacy and connection with your partner to do with motherhood. It's such a powerful subject. A lot of people misunderstood it as, you know, on Facebook, because I use the word sex, and I'm really present how this is such a triggering word to many of us. It has been for me, guys. Like in the past, I couldn't even say it out loud. Couldn't say it out loud. There was like shame attached to it, and it was embarrassing, and I had all sorts of stories about it. And that's when I realized, like, hold on a second, I don't have a freedom about this. And then I looked at my sex life and like, it was crap. Yeah, it wasn't. And only when I was courageous enough to admit it and to face it, it's like, wow, I don't feel anything. How it comes, yeah? It's machine. That's the point that is difficult to go into. However, is the beginning of the transformation, especially if, you know, you allow yourself to be guided. Because if you don't stay stuck in that point, if you find the support, if you find someone, whether it's coach, therapist, or counselor, someone you trust, someone you believe in, someone that can take you through the journey and you know they are doing a great job. You know, it has been like that for me. On the other side of this is something absolutely extraordinary and wonderful, and that's the creation. So talking about creating results, knowing and being clear of what you want, first it's knowing what you don't want, and then emptying the space, what is in your way, and then started creating from nothing, from that space of, I wonder what would be possible if I experience my intimacy through the most amazing, pleasurable gift in my life. If I allow myself to feel in every inch of my body. If my experience of intimacy with my partner is something spiritual, something that binds and connects us, something that makes us feel a certain way, and we don't even need to explain it because it's so tangible. Like people see it. We are achieving results with much more ease. We are dealing with conflict. I mean, conflicts don't even happen, but if they happen, we are one. We are able to talk freely. We are open. We are honest. There is a trust. You know, this is what tomorrow is going to be about. So I know I was very brave putting this poster on, which is, you know, me being saucy, and I knew it's going to attract some comments, and I still went for it because I believe that, you know, knowing what you want, including what you really, really want, like on a soul level, what your heart desires, and allowing yourself to dream, to go from that resigned, like it's not possible for me, I need to pay my bills or something, you know, is allowing yourself to dream and seeing what is possible, you know, to flirt, like what it would be like, you know, to stay with my partner again, you know, after 10 years of marriage, all day, and make love again and again, and just not needing a TV or, you know, the phone to distract myself, because I'm so much in love with him and I'm so in a present moment. You know what? I tell you something I never shared before. I realized when I just remembered it. I realized when I started relationship with my current husband. I only had one before, by the way, but you know, with Billy, I remember when we met, we couldn't part. You know, do you remember that time when you fall in love with your partner or with your husband? We couldn't part. And we met at the Liverpool Street on Friday, and on Saturday I was supposed to have a photo shoot. Veronica, if you're watching, I apologize. I never told you this. I never showed up for the photo shoot. I think I created. I'm so sorry. Like, that's one of the few lies I've done in my life. So I'm admitting it now. Yeah, I wasn't ill. I was in bed with my husband because I just couldn't get enough of him. You know, and a lot of people tell you like, yeah, but it's at the beginning, then it wears off. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. We've been together for 10 years and I still love him even more now. And that's what I want to share with you tomorrow. So, guys, I'll put a comments if you want to jump on this webinar. It's 90 minutes tomorrow, 10 o'clock UK time. Join us because we will be talking about intimacy. We will be talking about what is possible. And, you know, it's about what you really, really want and daring to dream, create it, and how to create it. In a long-term relationship, whatever your relationship is facing, and especially for you facing, you know, great challenges in a relationship, and especially for you who are on your journey towards motherhood. Anyway, back on our trees. I just felt it's very important to share because, sorry, I just go for a minute there. I share this because I know for many of you, these webinars or discovery calls or calls with me or my posts can be little by little. Whenever you're ready, you notice them. And whenever you're ready, you join them. And this is such an amazing thing because some of you like been watching me for 2 years and you write me a message saying, Luz, I was always hesitating, but I just finally found the courage to book a call with you or, you know, to send you a message and introduce myself because I've been watching you for a while and something draws me to you. So please listen to your instinct. Don't wait for 2 years. I'm very human. I'm quite nice. So if anything resonates with you, what I'm talking about, send a comment or send me a personal message. If there is any way I can support you, I always do it. So now we are going to talk about how to let me just get present to my notes because I drifted a little bit. I do that sometimes on Facebook Live. So what I want to talk about is how to create results knowing what you want. Now, when you ask yourself question, what do I want? Just take a moment now. Take a deep breath. Close your eyes. And ask yourself on soul level. What do I want right now? What do I need right now? What do I really, really want? And maybe there is an image, maybe there is a thought, there is something that comes to you. For me, right now, I was doing this exercise with you, rather than pretending I'm doing it with you. I was actually doing it with you. And for me, what came to me was actually, my husband is currently in UK. He's been for 2.5 months. And what came to me was to, you know, stroke his beard. He's got a beard. And to be close to him. You know, like to give him a hug, to smell him. That was what was my current desire. And as a big picture, what do I really want? Well, I want us to be together as a family. That's my big want right now. Yeah. So let me know, write to me what came to you. What do you really, really want? What is coming up? Share with me, or at least write it down for yourself on a piece of paper. Now, why clarity helps with creation? Because when you think about it, I always think about it this way. Imagine, just consider that universe, God, or someone up there is always listening. It's always listening to us, to our thoughts, to our expressions, to what we want. And consider that, let's call it universe, is always, or God, is always much more than willing to deliver not only what we really want, but beyond our expectations. And that's the belief you can steal if you like it, and you can adopt. Because this is the empowering space to live inside, at least for me. Now, considering that universe is listening, I always say to myself, well, I better be responsible for what I'm thinking, what I'm talking, and how I am creating my life. Because the truth is, you are, whether consciously or subconsciously, being the creator of your life. Did it ever happen to you? And now really give it a little thought. Did it ever happen to you, whether in positive or negative way, that you thought of something, like next week, no, 2 weeks time, next streaming, we will be talking about power of manifestation. I regularly manifested, when I was living in busy London, parking spaces for myself. It was hilarious. I had a game. It was like a game. I was always busy, guys. It's so hard to park in London. Those Londoners, you know what I'm talking about, New York or big city people. And I kept on manifesting, the parking space. On my way to there, I kept on manifesting. And I put a visual, and I put visualization that there will be the one for me. There was always one for me. There was always one for me. And even if there was no parking space, do you know what happened? I intuitively slowed down, paused a little bit, and within a few seconds, someone was reversing, and I put my car in there. That's it. I swear to God. So manifestation is something that, sorry guys, I need to change position. Manifestation is something that we will be talking about later. But for now, I just say clarity is so important, because universe, God is listening, and he's willing to give us everything we want. The pitfall is we are so confused. And even when we know what we want, we are not really communicating it clearly. Or it's not clearly for the universe out there. Because we are kind of conflicting ourselves, like my women sometimes, they want a baby. But what is behind that, subconsciously, they are like, yeah, but maybe I'm too old. I want a baby, but maybe I'm too old. So universe is asking, well, do you want a baby or you are too old? I'm not sure. Unless you get it clear, I can't deliver it to you. Yeah. So unless you clear up the what I call limiting belief about yourself being too old, it's not gonna happen. Our mind is so powerful. There is more and more research being done about the power of our mind, and that's why I'm saying you are the creator of your life. It's just a lot of times we create unconsciously. That's why that parking ticket, that's why the speeding ticket, that's why the, another disaster that is happening in your family. That's what, because we are unconsciously attracting all these things through our energies, through our, energy, because that's where the actions follows and so on. I can talk about it forever. I will stop here. But I just want to make you present, being present to power of the creation, and actually make you present that you are the one who is creating your life. I know sometimes when our life is not going well, it's hard to admit it. But I must admit it. Even like, I was in unhappy marriage. I was the creator of that. I was the one who said yes to marry him. I was the one who stayed in there for 10 years. Nothing wrong. I learned a lot. Thanks to that, I have a wonderful husband now. But, I was the creator of it. I was running away from something, and I chose to, say yes to something that I wasn't aligned with. And I knew on the wedding day is the wrong thing. It was just, I felt it's too late and I was too young to chicken out. I said to myself, well, we have a saying in our country, like, whatever you cooked, you have to eat it now. And so I did for 10 years. Yeah. Anyway. So I think by now you are clear about how powerful it is to create, and that your clarity in what you want really, really drives forward getting what you want. Now, how to know what I want, Lucia? That's what people ask me. How to know what I want? Because at the beginning of my program, part of the program as a preparation homework is for people to write down what they really want, to get from this program in the next 12 weeks. And I ask them always to be generous with themselves, because that's a lot of times another pitfall, that we are thinking, yeah, I want this, but it's not possible. I would like that, but, it's not. And I'm not talking about winning lottery, guys. I'm talking about, and if it's money, there's nothing wrong with it, but ask for what you really want. Someone calls it financial independence. Someone calls it abundance. But then what abundance means in your life? What does it actually mean? What it would look like? Flirt with it. Play with it. My kids just came home. So daring to ask what you want without having those thoughts of, yeah, but that's not possible. Or that's not possible for me. It can happen to him, but not possible for me. Without that. So daring to ask what you want. And then they ask me, yeah, but how do I know what I want? Well, there is a starting point, very practical way how you can work this out. And it's actually taking a good old pen and paper and starting, just as it comes to you, writing down what you want. Because a lot of times we have things in our head, but actually there is something about writing it, not on computer, please. Write it down with a pen and paper. Start writing what you want. Dare to write it down, actually. Take it from your mind on the piece of paper. Ideally something that you can have with you, or it's handy by your bedside table, something that you can do on a regular basis. Allow yourself to be inspired, whether it's a movie or a friend or some situation you've seen on the tube on the way to work. Like I regularly allow myself being inspired, not only the way I cook my meals, but the way, I don't know, like other day I've been in for a nice meal in nice Slovak restaurant here. We call them Koliba, and the two lovely elderly couple came, and they've been so in love. And I was, observing, and then we became friends. Actually, we've been sitting at the same table, and I was curious. I was asking them, I was like, how is this possible? Like, you can still be so much in love and adore each other. It was just phenomenal to watch. And that was the moment when I said to myself, wow, this is what I want. This is what I really want to be like. This is what I want to be with my husband when I'm 70 years old, or 60, 70 years old, even earlier. And so, dare to ask what you want and get inspired by other people. The light went off a little bit. I'm coming closer to you so you can see me. Is it better? Hopefully it's better. So, start writing in a journal. Like, create a habit, like have a fun with it as well. Not like something you have to do, but have a fun with it. Start writing what you want and create it like a daily habit. Like every, morning or every evening before you go to sleep, write down what you really want. And make it a habit for at least 3-4 weeks until your paper is full and you start getting a clarity about what you really want. It will come, I promise you. Now, when you make the list of what you really want for the period of time, you will be more clean. Now, you can come back to this practice, and the best is to keep going actually for a longer period of time, because it's very interesting how you start doing this exercise, and then after, a period of 6 months, when you look at your notes, or even 3 months, when you look at the notes of what you wrote down at the beginning, you will realize that it wasn't actually what you really want. Because now you have so much more clarity. You actually don't want this, but you actually really, really want this. So it's a great exercise. So feel free to steal it and apply it, guys. Now, when you do this regularly, review it. So come back to those notes, review it. Maybe you revamp it. Maybe you want to, and keep on updating it. It's my practice that I do actually every year at the end and at the beginning of the year. I'm reflecting, I'm looking at, what is working, what is not working as I would like to. I've got a tool called Wheel of Life. I am happy to put it in comments actually, guys. It's a little very, very useful tool where you look at all areas of your life and you rate yourself from 1 to 10. And then you will very clearly see where you're scoring higher numbers, where you're scoring lower or maybe very low numbers. And you will have 2 or 3 areas that, you will see that would make a real difference for you to have a transformation and move forward in those areas. And by the way, everything is connected. In this Wheel of Life, you will see relationships are connected to health. Your health is connected to your career. Your career is connected to your free time. Everything is connected. I love this exercise. I love this tool. So please feel free to do it for yourself. Let me know how it went for you. Review again brings you much more clarity. And another thing to do with the Wheel of Life as well, if you score 6 in area of, fulfillment in life or finances, write down what it would be if it would be 10. What would have to happen for it to be a 10? Yeah? Like what what it would look like, because unless you know how it would feel, and sometimes it's hard to imagine, and this is so fruitful, this conversation. That's why coaching is amazing, because it takes you through this journey, through this whole process for you to have a clarity, and then things start shifting. So, make it what it would be if it's a 10. Yeah? I wanted to say something else, but I realized I would go deeper. I just want to stay in track with the theme that we have. I have always this problem that I want to give you so much, and then I'm like, oh, steady, Lucia, you're talking about this now, so stop here. Okay. So, very good idea is also, if you really want something, give it a date. Give it a date. And I know a lot of us are hesitating. Even I was like, when I was doing this first time or, first few times, I was like, what do you mean, deadline? You know how it works. You don't like deadlines, right? What do you mean, deadline? I was like, well, it's something a little bit softer. I mean, we don't want to have a deadline on our dreams, right? So I don't call it deadline. I call it, give it a date. And allow the date to inspire you, to pull you forward, like motivate you, not to have it like, what if it doesn't happen by that time? That's the first thing that comes to your mind maybe, is like, is it possible by then? What if it doesn't happen? I will be even feeling even worse. No, allow the date you put on it. I will be a happy mother by Christmas 2023. Yeah? I mean, allow it to be slightly realistic. You know, you can't conceive and have a baby within 3 months, so give it a little time. But, you know, don't go too much further, because the thing is that when you write it down, when you give it a date, honestly, something starts shifting and aligning. Universe starts aligning. And of course, you want to create, and we'll be talking much more about it when we talk about manifestation, which will be our next month webinar in April. It's very important when you create to have as much emotion and as much energy behind it as possible. But I will tell you more about it next month. So, I hope this is making sense. Please let me know. There was very little comments and interaction, but you know, I'm hoping that you're having a great time being outside somewhere because sun is shining. And I know a lot of you will be watching this on a replay. So I hope this is serving you so far. You know, creating results, if you want to really create the results in line with you truly want in life, it is absolutely essential to be connected with who you really are. And I would use the example like, you know, imagine you've got a roof of the house and you've got a ladder. And a lot of times in life, how we operate is that we are climbing, you know, the hamstring, going to work, back home, weekend, wash the dishes, have a meal, have a shower, TV, sleep. We are hamstering through life. And that's the metaphor for climbing a ladder. And what I want to offer you as we are coming to the end of our streaming is that what if your ladder is not leaning towards the right wall? What if that promotion that you wanted for so many years and is still not happening? Or anything what you think you really want is the wrong wall to lean your ladder towards? Because if that's the case, what might happen is that when you get that promotion, when you get on the top of the ladder, you might realize that is not what you wanted. That is not what fulfills you anyway. And then you find another ladder and another wall to climb onto. And this way, being disconnected with yourself, you might experience lack of fulfillment in life. And no matter what you buy, how successful you are, what you achieve or not, you know, it's just not making you happy. And you're searching and you're finding and you're buying more. Yeah. So that's why I'm saying when you are creating, guys, take a time to stop and to fully, you know, allow yourself to be guided, because it's not easy to do it yourself. And it takes a long time anyway. It's a process. But rediscovering who you really are, what's your values, what's your beliefs, what you really want, what's your limiting beliefs, what is in your way, what are your blind spots. You know, there's so many variables. But reconnecting with yourself, what you really, really want, what your soul desires, that's very powerful. Because when you reconnect with yourself, then you learn how to phrase it, how to say it out loud. This is what I really want. Then universe starts aligning. And then that thing and beyond comes to your life with so much ease you wouldn't believe. So I hope it made sense, guys. I hope, Kristinka, ahoy. I hope that it gave a lot of value to a lot of you. Thank you so much. I'm going to have now something yummy in my tummy because it's a lunchtime and I had a course all the way till now. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your comments, for your love. Even the comments that will come. I'm so curious. I'm so curious what you got out of this streaming. Let me know one thing you got for yourself. I would be so grateful. It means the world to me when you send me a message, when when you say, hey Luz, you know what, I tried this and that tool you offered me, and you know, this is, I scored 10 in area of this, and I scored 5 in area of this, and it was so amazing to be able to see. So use the tool, guys. I put it in comments. I put in comments also my webinar that I'm doing is a free webinar. You can join tomorrow 10 a.m. UK time. We will be talking about intimacy in relationships and about how to take it to another level, guys. It's something that happened in my life, and I wish it from the bottom of my heart to all of us. And yes, it's about sex, and it's about intimacy, and it's the most wonderful, profound, it's love, really. You know, I am thinking if there is greater intimate relationships for more of us, I mean, honestly, the world will be a better place, because we'll be so much more fulfilled, happy, and, you know, smiling more. So anyway, I will see you, some of you, tomorrow. And for now, have a great rest of the weekend. Lots of love to us all. And let's enjoy the sunshine.